Hey, you spicy ladies. I'm so glad you're here. You know, in a world full of dating advice about what to text, how to flirt, what to wear, or when to play it cool, we often forget about the moments that speak louder than words. The quiet ones, the ones that happen when no one's performing, when energy does the talking. And today, I want to talk to you about one of those moments. One that, if you learn how to own it, can completely change how a man feels about you, even if you never say a word. I'm talking about the hug. Now, I know what you're thinking. Seriously, a hug? Yes, but not just the hug. I'm talking about the way you respond to it, because the spicy ladies who stay in a man's mind long after the moment is over, the ones he keeps thinking about while he's lying in bed, driving to work, or talking to his friends, those spicy ladies know how to turn even the simplest gestures into something unforgettable. You don't need to be overly sexual. You don't need to put on an act. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It's about subtlety, feeling, feminine warmth. It's about creating emotional gravity in a moment most people rush through. Because when a spicy lady responds to a hug with presence, intention, and that quiet confidence that says, "I'm not afraid to let you feel me," that's the moment he remembers. So, if you've ever wondered how to make a deeper impression, how to have a man lean in, think about you when you're not around, and crave more of your energy, this is it. Today, I'm going to show you 5 ways to respond to a hug that will make him never stop thinking about you. Let's begin. When a man wraps his arms around you, he's not just making contact with your body, he's making contact with your energy. And that's where most people completely miss the moment. They treat a hug like a checkpoint, something you do quickly before moving on to the real connection, like talking or flirting or touching. But what if I told you that the hug itself can be the moment that sticks with him if you know how to stay present in it? Here's what happens to most people. They go in, make contact, pat a few times, pull away, and carry on with the day. Nothing wrong with that. It's normal. But that's also why it's forgettable. When you hug someone in a way that's rushed or automatic, it feels polite, functional, even friendly, but not emotional, not magnetic. But the moment you let yourself melt into the hug, that's when something shifts. That's when he feels the weight of your presence, the softness of your energy, and the unspoken message, "I'm right here with you." And let me tell you, that kind of presence is rare. When you don't rush, when you allow just a few extra seconds of stillness, your body speaks for you. It says, "I'm safe here." It says, "I'm not in a hurry to get away from you." And that makes a man feel something deeper than physical attraction. It makes him feel emotionally seen, valued, like he is the safe space you want to be close to. And when a man feels that from you, he doesn't forget it. There's this beautiful, silent intimacy that happens when you simply stay, when you resist the impulse to pull away too soon, when your breath slows, when your arms don't tense but gently rest, when your head finds that natural spot on his shoulder or chest and lingers there, maybe just for a moment longer than expected. It's not dramatic, it's not calculated, it's just deeply felt. And that's exactly why it's powerful. Men don't get this kind of energy very often. Most of them spend their lives performing, fixing, leading, being tough. But in the arms of a woman who lets herself melt, who doesn't tense up, who doesn't perform, who just feels, they get to soften too. They get to stop thinking, stop striving, and just exist in the presence of someone who sees them not as a checklist, but as a human being. That's magnetic. That's healing. That's addictive. Spicy ladies, thank you for watching to here. I appreciate it. If you have same feeling, leave the spicy lady +1 comment below. That's my motivation. Let's continue. So the next time he pulls you into a hug, don't think of it as a moment you move through. Let it be the moment. Let your body say what your words don't need to. And when you do that, when you melt in instead of rushing out, you create a ripple effect. He'll walk away thinking about how you felt in his arms, how everything quieted down, how for a second the world slowed and it was just you and him. And that memory, that feeling, that's what keeps him coming back. There's a subtle magic in the moments we least expect. And one of the most powerful emotionally charged tools you have in your feminine toolkit, it's something most people never even think about. It's your breath. When a man hugs you and you let out that soft, quiet exhale into his body, you create an experience he won't even be able to fully explain, but he'll feel it and he'll remember it. You see, most people hold their breath when they're tense, nervous, or disconnected. It's a small but very real signal to the body, I'm not safe here. I can't relax. But when you exhale gently, slowly, almost involuntarily, it's your body's way of saying, I'm good, I'm home, I feel safe. And when a man hears and feels that breath from you in his arms, it does something deep to him. It tells them that he's the source of your ease, that just being in his presence allowed you to let go. And that is incredibly powerful for a man to experience. We live in a culture where everyone's in go mode, always performing, always planning, always trying to look cool or say the right thing. But breath is primal. It's unconscious. You can't fake it. That's why when you let out a real, relaxed breath, soft and subtle like a quiet sigh against his neck or chest, it lands as authentic. And because it wasn't forced, it feels intimate, private. It's the sound of vulnerability, of dropping your armor. And he will absolutely feel it in his nervous system. You don't need to make it overly dramatic. This isn't about moaning in his ear or trying to seduce him in some obvious way that actually breaks the spell. The power is in how natural it feels, how it just happens because he held you in the right way. That breath might be small, but it will echo in his mind long after the moment ends. He might not even be able to tell you why he's thinking about you later that night, but he will. Because the way you relaxed into him said something words never could. And what's even more beautiful, that breath isn't just for him. It's for you. When you allow yourself to exhale, to really feel the moment, to surrender to closeness without rushing or analyzing, you remind yourself that you are allowed to be held, that you don't always have to carry the weight of the moment, that you can let someone else be strong for a second while you simply breathe. So the next time he pulls you in close, don't forget your breath. Don't hold it. Don't overthink it. Just feel. Let yourself exhale softly, easily, fully, and trust that in that quiet release, you are speaking volumes. Because sometimes the most unforgettable message you can send is simply this: I trust you with my stillness. There's something about a whisper that cuts through everything. In a noisy world where everyone's trying to talk over each other, where conversations often stay surface level and safe, a whisper is the opposite. It's quiet, it's intimate, it forces you to lean in. And when you whisper to a man during the hug, especially when your body is already close, you create a moment that feels secret, private, and intensely personal. It doesn't need to be anything overly romantic or suggestive. In fact, it's often more powerful when it's simple. Something like, you give good hugs, or I really needed this today, or even just a soft, hey you, with a smile behind it. When you say it in that close, low, slow tone, when your breath brushes past his ear, it hits him on a deeper level. Why? Because it links your voice with the warmth of your body, the closeness of the hug, and the emotional safety of being in your arms. That's a multi-sensory imprint. And those moments stay with him. Most people breeze through hugs like a handshake. Casual, forgettable, transactional. But the second you add a whisper, it breaks the script. It turns the moment from something friendly into something unforgettable. It pulls him into your world, even if just for a second. And what you're really doing is showing intention. You're saying, this isn't just a quick hello or goodbye. This matters. That whisper becomes a cue that there's something deeper happening here, something he can't quite put his finger on, but he can feel it. What makes this especially magnetic is that you're not asking for attention. You're offering a piece of yourself, a little thought, a gentle observation, a flicker of playfulness or vulnerability, and that's where the obsession begins. Because he walks away with your voice in his head, not in a loud, overbearing way, but like a melody stuck in his mind, a soft echo that replays long after the embrace. And let's not forget how rare this kind of connection is. Men rarely get to experience emotional intimacy that feels both safe and electric. When you whisper something genuine, it gives him a peek behind the curtain. It invites him closer without pressure. It shows him that you're emotionally in tune and confident enough to say something just for him, right there in that private space between your bodies. So the next time you're in his arms, don't just hug him and let go. Let that moment linger. Bring your face a little closer and say something just for him. Not loud, not scripted, just honest, just close, just you. He won't forget what you said, but more importantly, he'll never forget how you made him feel when you said it. The way you use your hands during a hug can be the difference between a moment that's sweet and forgettable and one that completely takes his breath away. Most people don't realize just how powerful intentional touch can be. It's not just about being in his arms, it's about how your body communicates in that space. Because your hands, if you use them with purpose, can say things words never could. When you wrap your arms around his waist, slide them up his back, or gently rest your palms on the back of his neck, it creates a different kind of connection. It says, I'm not just letting you hold me, I'm holding you back. That alone sends a powerful message. It's one thing to receive affection passively. It's something else entirely to participate in it fully. That kind of physical responsiveness shows confidence, presence, and depth. It shows that you're not afraid to express affection and that you're emotionally in tune with the moment. What's especially potent is when you do it with calm intention. Not rushed, not mechanical, just slow, deliberate movement that carries warmth. Maybe your fingertips trail lightly up and down his back. Maybe your hand rests gently on his chest for a moment after you pull away. Or maybe you gently squeeze him mid-hug, as if to say, I mean this. These are the gestures that linger in a man's memory, because while the hug might only last seconds, the feeling those small touches create can stay with him for hours. The stillness of your palm at the base of his spine. The moment your hands linger a second longer after the hug has technically ended, that's what makes it powerful. That's what creates obsession, not with your body, but with your energy. So next time you're in his arms, don't let your hands hang limply or stay still like you're just waiting for it to be over. Let them speak to you. Let them tell him, I'm here, I feel you, I want to be here. That's what gets remembered. That's what pulls him back in, even when you're not around. There's something deeply symbolic about who lets go first in a hug. Most people don't even think about it. They just go through the motion, pull away when it feels socially acceptable, and carry on. But if you want to create a moment that lingers in a man's heart, don't be the one to let go first. Let him be the one who decides when the moment ends. Because in that tiny decision, you send a message that feels both soft and incredibly powerful. When you stay in the hug and let him go first, you're not being passive. You're being present. You're saying, I'm not rushing out of this. I'm not afraid of this closeness. I'm not holding on too tightly, but I'm also not trying to escape. It's a confident kind of surrender, and that energy is magnetic to a man. Because what it tells him is, I trust you to hold me, and I'm comfortable enough with myself to just be here. Think about how rare that is. Most people live in their heads during moments of intimacy. They're wondering if it's too long, too awkward, too vulnerable. They're looking for the first socially acceptable moment to break the connection. But the spicy lady who stays, who lingers just a second longer, who breathes, who feels instead of performs, that spicy lady becomes unforgettable because she's not doing what's expected. She's responding to what's real. And here's the twist. Letting him go last doesn't just affect him. It affects you. It shifts your energy from trying to impress or perform into simply receiving, into being okay with intimacy, into owning your space in the relationship dynamic. That kind of grounded feminine energy is rare. It makes a man feel like he's holding someone who's fully alive, someone who doesn't need to control the moment, but trusts the moment. That's not neediness, it's maturity, it's self-assurance, and it draws him in on a deeper level than physical attraction ever could. He might not say it out loud, but he will feel it. The moment you let him decide when to end the hug, he'll notice. He'll register that you didn't pull away first. And that small decision creates a subtle emotional tension. It gets under his skin, in the best way. It keeps him thinking, what was that about her? Why did that feel so good? And just like that, he's hooked. Not because you said the perfect thing, not because you looked perfect, but because you let the moment mean something. So next time you're in that embrace, try it. Stay. Breathe. Let him be the one to let go and watch what happens. Watch how that one subtle shift transforms the energy between you and leaves him wondering why he can't stop thinking about the way it felt to hold you. Here's the truth most people miss. Intimacy isn't about grand gestures. It's not about dramatic declarations or overt seduction. It's about moments, micro moments. Really, those subtle signals that say, I see you, I feel you, I'm right here. And when it comes to something as simple as a hug, the way you show up in that space can change everything. It's not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the most felt. When you lean in gently, when you exhale into him, when you whisper something only meant for his ears, when you use your hands with quiet intention, and when you let him be the one to end the embrace, you create an emotional signature, a sensory imprint, something that bypasses logic and goes straight to his nervous system. That's what makes a man obsess over you. Not just because you look good, but because you made him feel something real, rare, and safe. And if you're someone who's ever wondered how to stand out in a world full of noise, how to build real connection, how to draw a man to you without chasing him, you now have your answer. Don't underestimate the small things. Don't rush past the moment. Own the moment. Use your feminine energy with grace, with confidence, with presence, and watch what happens. Now here's your challenge. The next time you're in his arms, don't rush it. Don't think about what comes next. Don't pull away too soon. Try one of these 5 shifts, just one. Watch how he reacts. Watch how his body relaxes. Watch how he holds you longer. And notice what changes in you. How empowered you feel when you create that moment from a place of real connection. He might not say it out loud. He might not even fully understand what just happened. But believe me, he'll go home thinking about it. He'll replay it. He'll feel a craving to be close to you again. Because in a world where everything moves fast, you give him something timeless and unforgettable. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies, make life beautiful. Thank you for watching, and God bless.